Hello everyone, welcome to Top Chat. My name is Matt and today I'm going to be talking about loot boxes. They've been in the news a fair amount recently, and yesterday Psyonix, the developers of car-based football game Rocket League, released a statement on their website after announcing they're scrapping the current loot box system. This is what they had to say. Here at Psyonix and Epic Games as a whole, we are dedicated to creating the best possible experience for our players all over the world. In pursuit of that goal, later this year we will remove all paid randomised crates from Rocket League, replacing them with a system that shows the exact items you're buying in advance. This is similar to changes implemented earlier this year by the Fortnite Save the World team. For those that don't know, in May 2019, Epic Games purchased Psyonix for an undisclosed fee, so it's not that surprising to see Rocket League taking a similar approach to Epic's world-conquering Fortnite. Both games have remained immensely popular titles since their release, forming huge Twitch communities and cementing themselves as esports favourites for years to come. I feel like this is a fantastic move from Psyonix, as Fortnite has a microtransaction system that I personally admire for its clarity. I don't necessarily think it's a healthy system, as I have seen and heard firsthand the jealousy that my young cousins have when their friends' parents give them V-Bucks to buy skins and, their parents don't. But at least if you want to put money into Fortnite, you know exactly what you're going to buy. You don't walk into your local game store, pick up a blank box, get home and open it, praying for Call of Duty, only to see that you've got Anthem. If this was how stores worked, no one would buy anything unless they had a problem. So why do in-game stores work this way? We've allowed it because it's fairly new tech which has revolutionised an old idea. So let's talk about the politics behind this. Also in May 2019, a US Senator named Josh Hawley proposed the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Bill, claiming that games such as Candy Crush, which he highlighted in his report, are disguising gambling in the form of loot boxes and mystery in-game rewards that players can spend real-life money on. The bill was formed after Belgium launched an inquest claiming that loot boxes were a violation of the country's gambling laws, something which Sweden is also said to be investigating. In China, not the greatest example country to use given how backwards their politics can be, but still, they limit the amount of loot boxes a person can open per day. Interestingly, countries such as my native UK, and then Denmark, Germany and Australia to name a few, do not see loot boxes as a violation of their gambling laws, as they don't share enough similarities with traditional gambling. To sit on the fence for a minute, which I'll try my best to do for the entirety of this video, although it probably won't work, I would argue that this is an old world view of laws and regulations that countries such as the latter have had in place for decades, maybe even centuries. The world has developed at an alarming pace in the last 20 years alone, so perhaps the laws should be developing and adapting alongside the progression, especially in terms of technology. Some of us will see this as governments interfering with our favourite video games and removing features that we've grown to love. I remember opening Ultimate Team packs back in the day when I used to play FIFA, and although I was never satisfied with what I received, I always knew where to call it a day and stop opening the packs. As an aside, personally, I never used to spend real world money on packs. I would just grind out the game until I had enough in-game currency to open one. The chances are you're the same as me. You perhaps open the occasional loot box on FIFA, Rocket League, Counter-Strike, whatever your game of choice is, but when things aren't going your way and when your luck is down, you put down the controller and you walk away. There's a minority, however, that might not have the capacity to do this. Some people find it very hard to walk away. Addiction is a huge issue worldwide, and it's a condition that doesn't have borders. Video games also don't have borders, and with an increasing number of games offering loot box style incentives, the problem is inevitably going to spread. Personally, I wouldn't place the blame at traditional video games, as the majority don't have such systems in place. However, mobile games certainly do. No doubt you have a couple of free-to-play games on your phone that you use on commutes to school or work, and I also don't doubt that these games are loaded with ads and constantly encourage you to spend real-life money on upgrades, skins, or packs of whatever, depending on the context of the game. Similarly to what I said earlier, most of us won't succumb to this incessant barrage of buy now, but a portion of the market will spend and might not know when to stop spending. To try and get back on the fence, an issue I do take with Senator Hawley's bill is the use of the word children in the title, because ultimately children aren't the only demographic at risk here. Adults are just as likely to slip into addiction and pour heaps of money into their favourite games. Personally, I've dipped my toes into online betting, I like going to casinos, and I have been known to buy the occasional surprise t-shirt at a music festival for 1/4 of the price of buying the exact t-shirt I want, but I know where to draw the line. Children are more at risk of developing an addictive personality from loot boxes, as at a young age you've not really got any concept of money or worth, so I do see where Senator Hawley is coming from. However, I do not endorse this bill entirely, as there are some elements of it that are completely absurd. Especially in the wake of 2 mass shootings in the US where the blame has been unbelievably aimed at video games among other things, and not the actual cause of these tragedies, but that's a different discussion for a different channel. For me, I'm glad to see the back of loot boxes in any game. It's been a long while since I've played Rocket League, and this change is unlikely to bring me back to the game. However, it is progress for the industry, especially when a giant title denounces loot boxes in favour of a fairer, less akin to gambling system. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and you can tweet us at TopChatPodcast. Thanks very much for listening, and bye for now.